are live talking about DJs
and
live bands
and live bands for a wedding.
You said you got advice from your live band?
Well,
what
because
advice?
like what people do is, I wonder if AU would be somebody like this. It's possible, though not likely. I'm just saying possible. It's like people go in and they think the music that is being played is like for their own personal playlist and defines them as a person. It's not really what it's for. The music is to have everybody have a good time so they have a good wedding. So they said, like, the band was like, people come in with this huge list of songs that not to play. And they're like, half the time they're the songs that everybody like loves and has a good time. So they're like, we're up there. We can look at the crowd. We see what's working and not working. They're like, if you have something, which I did have one, that you just can't deal with, give us, but otherwise just let us do our thing. And I thought that was really good advice, you know?
I have sympathy for wedding bands in this arena. Like, I think that I think being told what not to play is a lot less helpful than maybe having like 2 or 3 songs you would like to hear.
Yes, absolutely.
That said, I also think that, well, both bands and DJs are some arrogant motherfuckers who always think they know better. And that's not always the case.
But that's what you're paying them. They're paying them.
I guess they are the professionals. Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
But
and also the other thing they have a good vibe for, and this is DJs in like clubs too. I learned this when we were in college. It's like they know when people need a break. So they know how to like slow it down but not annoy people. I don't know. I thought, and everybody got so fucking wildly drunk at our wedding. People had a good time, and I think the music must have been part of it.
Yeah, I don't believe that whole reading the room thing. I think that bands go in with a set list of 20 songs. They're going to play those 20 songs probably no matter what. I mean, if they play 5 straight Motown songs and nobody is dancing, maybe they won't play a 6th one. But I don't think they're like, they're not like putting their finger in the air, taking the temperature.
Oh, I disagree. These bands can play thousands of songs. They go in there and it's an older room or a younger room. They have to be able to adjust. I think you're just flat out wrong.
I think that they know what they're going to play 80% of the time already. Maybe there's a couple variable spots they do. Okay, we'll maybe do this song instead of that song. I don't think that they're going in like Vampire Weekend or Pavement and they're like, oh, we don't even know what set list we're going to play. We're just going to play it by feel. I think that's absolute bullshit.
Well, no one said they're just playing it by feel, but everyone also is saying they're reading the room.
I think they are reading the room very, very occasionally, and generally they are doing what has worked for them in the past.
Only question. What evidence do you have to support this?
I have my intuition as a person who has worked in the music industry for, I don't know, 15 years now.
No. Me too. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Just saying.
And you're just saying DJ, by the way, AU?
Yeah, I like a DJ just because it frustrates me too much when bands play songs that they're clearly like out of their wheelhouse and not within their capabilities to play and get right. And they'll try, and I don't blame them. But, you know, I don't want to hear a 55-year-old guy singing Miley Cyrus's Flowers. You know, it just isn't going to work. And certainly if you're going with the band, then you're cutting out several genres entirely. You're basically cutting out rap.
Most good wedding bands have like
music.
4 different people that sing.
But
like what are you even
don't
talking
have a rapper
about?
That's convincing. They usually, I mean, you're not going to do any sort of instrumental-based dance music. It's just not. It just limits.
Instrumental-based dance music. See, this is
I want to
the
hear
kind of guy.
VC's levels if I'm going to a wedding, Spike, and I'm not going to hear that played by live bands. It's not going to happen.
This is the exact kind of guy you don't want giving you wedding advice.
It's a good thing I'm still single then. Unmarried at least.
All right. On the show today, what an inspiring, I'd love having AU on the show. What an inspiring filter in. On the show today, Joel Embiid might play in the preseason. Oh my God, he's doing one-on-ones. Have we been here before? Who cares? Also, a deep dive on what I perceive as AU's moody summer and a new Sixers poem from Mia. Perhaps a Sixers song, if I can find it on my phone that a listener sent in. A bunch of stuff happening today. The Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS. Brought to you by MortgageCS. Become a MortgageCS Ricky VIP at mortgagecs.com/Ricky. Briggs Auction, the official auction of the Ricky. BriggsAuction.com. BodyBio. Get 20% off any BodyBio order with code AUGUST We'll have to change that, I guess, soon, at bodybio.com. And Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka, the official canned cocktail of the Ricky. Fly the Process is going to be excellent this year. We're going to New Orleans in February 20th to 23rd. This is what I've said about Fly the Process. New Orleans is a cool town if you've never been there. Forget about all the Mardi Gras stuff. You can do all that stuff. You can do Bourbon Street. But New Orleans is a very spooky town, cool town. I had a really good time. Good food town. Not for me so much anymore, but for most people, a good food town. Fans of Philly is who we go with on Fly the Process. And found out today we may have a new element to add to Fly the Process this year, which would be a lot of fun, very New Orleans centric. So if you're interested in Fly the Process, your deposit's only $150 for the trip. You can pay it off over time. Just go to write.rickysanchez.com/fly. And if you're going anywhere that is not Philly, if you're coming from a different place or you're already in New Orleans and you just want a game and party package, just email joe@fansofphilly.com. That is fans with a PH. Otherwise, the package has tickets to the game, flights, airport transfers, hotel, of course, the pregame party. Great time. Hope to see you there in New Orleans. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka is such a great product. I'm so proud of the folks over at Surfside to see their stuff everywhere. Seeing at Dodger Stadium, Surfside is like, they're everywhere. They're massive. But you remember, Stateside Vodka from right here in Philly started as just this distillery in Philly, and now they're taking over everywhere. And they're taking over because Surfside is just plain good. People ask how it gets so popular. It's awesome. Doesn't matter which variety you like best. Green tea and vodka, strawberry lemonade and vodka, whatever it is. Only 2 grams of sugar, 100 calories, no bubbles, because iced tea should not have bubbles. Get it wherever you get your canned cocktails, or go to drinksurfside.com. You got to be 21. Please enjoy it responsibly. Without any further ado, Amos and the chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Welcome to the Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Eskin, along with the return of Andrew Unterberger to the Ricky. Welcome back, AU, taking a break from his day job at Billboard and from his true full-time job that is finding the next superstar writer from the Ricky. Welcome back, AU.
That's right. Got a lot of good candidates, or so I assume. I haven't actually looked at any of them yet, but I'm sure they're out there. I've seen some subject titles. They look very promising. So
You've looked at them. We've discussed some of them.
Yeah. Well, certainly, yeah. The ones we got a while ago. Yeah, I've looked at those, of course.
Yes. We will. Don't worry. If you sent your stuff in, we got it. We will. Emails always get there. If somebody told you they didn't get the email, chances are they're lying. So we got the email. We will get back to everybody. Welcome back, AU. It's been a while. I can't remember the last time you filled in. It's been a little while, but some may say you were the key to you leaving the pod was ruined the Sixers' hope at a championship the last time they were in the playoffs when Mike returned from his the last time they made the playoffs, 2 playoffs ago, when Mike returned from his honeymoon from Europe and kicked you off the pod, and they went and eventually lost to the Celtics. So
4-0 when I was on there.
Yeah.
Swept the Nets, yeah.
Undefeated.
Those were good times.
They were good times. And we'll get back to the phrase good times, because I would like to, I noticed we'll get to it in a minute, but I noticed your tone in your writing over the summer, just generally, and you really put the stamp on it with the last thing that you wrote. I saw it and I was like, I knew it the whole time. I knew my guy AU.
I don't feel like I was being that subtle about it before then either. Like you're acting like you really read between the lines of my very carefully coded blog entries. I feel like I was pretty transparent about the fact that I was not having a good time.
Yeah, I guess I'm just doing a show here. You don't have to Jesus Christ, man.
Sorry, old habits.
Yeah. So before we get to that, some encouraging stuff, if you would like to look at it that way, from Sixers practice. Now before we get to the videos and what Nick Nurse said, at practice today, he did almost everything Joel did. That is per Nick Nurse. I think it was Paul Hudrick. It was his tweet that I read. And Paul George was up to doing 3-on-3. And there were these videos from earlier in the week. Here's all the beat writers posted them, but of course we use Sixers Adams because he is an alumni of the Ricky. But this is just several videos of Joel Embiid going one-on-one with different Sixers. First, it is Kelly Oubre who tries to defend him, and Embiid scores on him right away. Oubre called him the cheat code later on. Then it is Paul George, and Embiid scores on him rather easily. Would like to see Paul George put up more of a fight if defense is his thing or whatever. but that said, Embiid scores on him here. If you're just listening, we're playing the videos here. Then it was Maxey, who had no chance at all. And the guy who ended up forcing a miss, I don't know if he forced it, but Joel ended up missing on, was VJ Edgecombe. And the other thing that people noticed in that was that Joel was smiling, looked to be having a good time. And if there was any debate that he is thinner this year than he's ever been, the initial videos and pictures looked like it, but you couldn't really tell from perspective. But the more and more I've seen of it, he does, and the blue and white video, he does look much thinner than he's ever looked. So the fact that he's smiling, playing one-on-one, doing almost everything. And then Nick Nurse, after the practice, said that, I guess it was, wait, hold on, let me look at the quote, that there's some chance that Embiid played in the preseason finale, which is, I can't remember the last time he played in preseason, and that he had a couple of extra boxes to check. I think he might play actually on Friday. I think that's a real thing. I also think he's almost certainly going to play in the opener, which is good news. That is just my gut. I don't have any information, but it seems to be trending that way. This is all like pretty good, I think. I mean, all things considered, given how the year started last year.
Yeah, I mean, beats the alternative. Like if it's between him, being a practice champion or whatever, like the stuff that, the Ringer would make fun of him for 10 years ago, and just not doing anything, I'd certainly take this. If it's a choice between some chance of him playing and no chance of him playing, I'd prefer some chance. Yeah. I think there is a wide variety of possible percentages held within the phrase some chance. I think you could say that there's been some chance that Joel would play in any game his entire career.
Yes.
But if you're optimistic about it, you're usually not half cocked about these things. So I'll take that as a sign of encouragement. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like glass half full guy generally, I was talking about it on the air once. I think it is that I'm just generally skeptical, which allows me it means that things are less fun for me generally, but because things are less fun, I tend to see bad things a little bit quicker than other people do because I'm looking for them. So, but this maybe it's just the comparison from this year to last year.
Yeah.
Not overall. Forget about the whole season last year. I just want to take you back to the beginning, the ramp up when there was just nothing, and it was horrible. And this year it seemed pretty calculated, maybe giving them a little too much credit, seemed pretty purposeful in not setting up expectations for anybody, even through media day. But the whole time, it seems as if he is in a much better mental and physical place, which is good, I guess.
I mean, again, if the choice is between them saying he's going to be ready and him actually looking ready, or them not saying he's going to be ready and him actually finally looking ready, then the latter is certainly the way to go.
Yeah. Well, and I was annoyed, and I thought, and I don't not think this in retrospect, but I thought when media day happened and they wouldn't give us anything, it was, he's checking boxes, and I thought that pissed me off. But the truth was, at the end of it, and when I said it, was, well, if he's ready to play in game one, the fact that they didn't talk on media day is not going to bother me, Do
you think that they were intentionally underplaying it? Do you think that they actually were more optimistic than they were letting on, but they didn't want to put the cart before the horse there?
Yes, that is my guess. I don't think...
That's so unlike the Sixers that it seems like intuitively wrong to me. I don't know.
Well, I think people can think whatever they want about Daryl Morey at all as a general manager. I think he is. I've interacted with him enough where I get the sense he is a good person from what I know of Daryl, and I think he's a good general manager. Before he got here, I said to Mike on the last pod, it was sort of a when we were doing 2 pods ago when we were doing the exorcism pod. It's sort of like a fever dream to have after everything that we had been through from Sam to end up with it being Daryl here. It's pretty good luck of the draw. Whatever you think of him was so. I think he's a smart person. That is my assertion of him. And given how last year went, I just think he of anybody understood they get nothing from overshooting.
Yeah,
nothing. There's and the best thing that could happen is they say he's ready for opening day, and he's ready for opening day. What do they get out of that? So underplaying it is the way, and I don't think they could know 2 weeks ago. I don't think they could have no idea where he was trending 2 weeks ago. That would be my guess on that. Now, over the summer, when the ESPN article came out, maybe they had no idea at all. I mean, that was one of the weirdest things ever. It was a good article that I enjoyed, the profile on Joel. But the fact that it had basically no update on where he was physically other than he was going to take it slow was one of the vaguest things that's ever happened in a decade plus of vagaries, Well,
and that was one of the things that really, I guess that kind of tricked me, because the fact that they weren't chest puffed about how well he was doing, I figured if there was any chance of him making opening night, then we would see that by them going like way, way too far with it. He's the best shape of his life and he's dominating in workouts and he's never looked thinner and all the teammates are raving about his ethic and what a great leader he's being. And the fact that we didn't hear any of that was like, he might not be alive. Like we might never see him again.
Yes. I think they learned, I think above all, Morey was embarrassed by last year. I don't know how you can't as somebody who's the team's performance is ultimately his responsibility, and the messaging, even if it's not his job, if he has control over that if he wants to. All of those things, I don't know how you can not be embarrassed by last year, and how you can not look at how you approach things or whatever, and been doing it as long as he has, and even his future, even if he's not the president of basketball operations for the Sixers in 2 years. He has to think about that. So how he plays this year has to do with his future. So in any case, all these signs are good. I think my gut is that he's going to play in the opener. My gut is even that he could play in the preseason game. I would love. I was talking about Ike on the show, and he's like, nah, I don't want to take the chance. And I'm like, he's got to play basketball, man. I don't know.
Well, certainly there have been enough Sixers who have gotten injured this summer not playing basketball. That clearly not playing basketball is not a catch-all for avoiding these things.
Yeah, and he plays basketball in practice. Give him 6 minutes in the preseason game. Let us get excited about it. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by MortgageCS. Speaking of getting excited, always so happy when we get an email from a Ricky listener about using MortgageCS. MortgageCS, our official mortgage broker, an independent mortgage broker that does, in fact, the gentleman who helped me sell my house in North Jersey, TJ just used MortgageCS again. I think I don't know if I'm allowed to say it or not, another sponsor's relative, but used MortgageCS and was again blown away by how MortgageCS operates. I know this might sound crazy to you if you've never used a mortgage broker before, but if you have, I want you to think about the quick emails, the unanswered questions, the hurrying you on and off the phone, the not being able to, not sitting there and explaining to you the entire process of how this works, giving you advice. MortgageCS is so above and beyond every other mortgage broker I worked with. It is actually offensive to me that they exist and other mortgage brokers exist and that you wouldn't use MortgageCS. I back them from now until forever, or at least as long as they're like this. So if you're going to buy a house, you have to use MortgageCS. Go to mortgagecs.com/Ricky. That is mortgagecs.com/Ricky. You can set up a consultation there, see the awesome website they built. They're all in on the Ricky. Or you can call or text their CEO, Ben, at any time. This is cell phone number 267-391-7425. That is 267-391-7425. If you, now could be a good time to refinance. Rates are a little bit lower. If your mortgage rate starts with a 7, it should probably be a 6, potentially a 5. And there are a lot of people with mortgage rates in the 7s right now. So forgetting about buying a new home, if you want to refinance, MortgageCS as well. And if you're thinking about being a first-time home buyer, this can actually be a really good time the fall before the holidays. A lot of people want to get it done before the holidays so they don't have people traipsing through their house in November and December and January. So might be a good time as well. Again, mortgagecs.com/Ricky, or call or text Ben at 267-391-7425. This advertisement is not a commitment to lend or extend credit. MortgageCS is an equal housing opportunity mortgage broker. All loans are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Company NMLS 1464766. Visit mortgagecs.com/Ricky for more information. All right. I touched on it at the top of the show. It's like your mood. Could you give... Now, if you'd like to read it, you can go to writesrickysanchez.com/subscribe. Subscribe to all our writers. Get AU's writing and MOC's writing and our new writer whenever that person comes.
Could be your writing if you're listening. Just,
could
apply
be
to us,
you.
apply to me. Yeah.
Well, no, too late. You said deadline of the 12th. Deadlines are deadlines.
That's true, I did do that. Fair enough.
Can you give your like, where are you? I guess as a fan, emotionally looking toward this season.
Well, I took last season, I think, a little bit harder than a lot of people did. A lot of people, I think, checked out pretty early, or at least, if they didn't literally stop watching the games, they sort of stopped caring about what happened or kind of backburnered it or whatever. That's not what I do. I'm not like Mike. I don't go traipsing off to Milan when things get hairy over here for a couple of weeks. I basically went down with the ship last year, and it was not fun in any part of it. And I would say actually, like, the end of the season was probably the most fun part of it, where we just nobody was playing, mattered. And nothing mattered. I got overly excited by Justin Edwards. It was great, whatever. But it was a rough hang, and I've had a difficult time shaking that off. And my entire thing last year, when it came down to the arguments that Mike and I had about like what direction the team should go in, and I was saying they should, if they had any chance of going in, they should go in, was that I didn't see why this year would be any better. And I still kind of feel that way. Like, I had this, like, when I was growing up, I had in my room like a pile of Discmen that had broken from overuse. They just sort of stopped working. But I kept them. I never threw them out. I kept them in like this big pile, just in case one of them decided to start working again someday. Not out of anything that I did, but just like, oh, you leave it alone for long enough, maybe the thing that was malfunctioning stops malfunctioning. And that's sort of what the Sixers did with the team this offseason. Like, you guys were talking on the podcast, the last podcast you guys did, you guys were talking about the outlook of this year versus last year. And Mike said something like, and I'm not trying to like restart my beef with Mike or anything, but he said something like, oh, well, it definitely can't be as bad this year as it was last year. There's just no chance that could happen.
Yeah.
Of course it can. Like, maybe it won't. I would say it's probable maybe that it won't, but it could absolutely be as bad as it was last year, because everything that went wrong with the team last year is still very much in play this year. It's most of the same guys. It's most of the same lackings. It's most of the same potential problems that could arise and often have arisen throughout these guys' careers. They didn't really address any of that stuff. They just kind of ignored it. They put it on the shelf and they hoped it was going to get better on its own. And maybe it will, but maybe it won't. And the preseason,
I think worth stating there was probably the only option they had.
Yeah, I'm not even saying that. I'm not even.
It's not a criticism of team building, just a reality of the situation.
Exactly. It's just where I am now. And like the preseason, this is supposed to be the time where we kind of hit reset and we can like ignore the things that we remember going bad last year and focus on only the good things that could happen this year. And at every possible turn this preseason, we have not been able to do that. Like, getting excited about Jared McCain coming back. Oh, well, he had a bad thumb war or something, and now he's out for another 10 weeks. Quentin Grimes, he was fun at the end of last season. Okay, he's going to take the entire summer to renegotiate his contract, then he's going to sign a qualifying offer. This the who's going to be our power forward? Maybe Trendon Watford will pop. We don't know because we haven't seen him, and who knows when we're going to see him. Paul George got hurt on vacation or something. I'm still not even totally sure what happened there. Like this is supposed to be the easy part. This is supposed to be the undramatic part. This is supposed to be like the restorative part. And every indication we've gotten from the universe is that don't waste your time. Like, don't bother getting excited about this team. It's going to be the same as last year. Everything that can go wrong probably will. And eventually, like, I just want to say, like, enough. Like, I get the point. Like, I'm not excited. Stop giving me more reasons to get less excited. I mean, how can you not feel this way? I don't understand how anyone could.
So I understand why you feel the way that you do. But I'm here to tell you, as sort of like your Sixers therapist here, that the problem is you, not them at this point, right? So I'm not saying that anything that you've said about the team itself is wrong. It's all right. I could hem and haw and say, hey, look, the Jared McCain thing could have been 3 months. It's actually going to be 6 weeks. And hey, we could do that from now until the cows come home. But I'm not going to do any of that. Let's take all of what you said at face value. The reason that it can't be as bad as last year is because last year happened already, and we know what it's like. And I think that your issue is what you're wrestling with is expectations. And you need to let go of all of them, because if you let go of every expectation that you have, the result of this year will more likely that there will be something there for you to hang your hat on as enjoyable compared to last year. That's the only, I can't guarantee the record will be better. I can almost certainly guarantee that VJ Edgecombe, and we'll get to the second, will be amusing to watch as a rookie, that Jared McCain will likely return and will be fun to watch again. Quentin Grimes is on the team. He's not, Mike is a lot more worried than I am that he's going to go out there and just shoot every time he touches the ball and trying to like secretly score 30 or something. And the good news is that when you go into it that way and just sort of let go of the baggage of the last decade that we're trying to win a championship, here's the reality. Probably not going to win a championship. Most likely 99.9% not going to win a championship. But there is, once you let go of that, there is this chance that, I don't know, they're pretty good this year. And we win 47 games or 48 games, and Tyrese Maxey gets better, and Jared McCain's there, and Embiid plays 45 games, and Paul George plays 50 games, and they're functional. And we go into the playoffs at least excited to watch something. Let's say that doesn't happen. Let's say Embiid plays 16 games. Well, there will most likely be Tyrese and Jared McCain and VJ Edgecombe and all of these things where, as long as you're not hoping that they're going to win the East and holding on to this old dream, that would be enough. If we were just given that, if we just woke up one day and didn't have the last 10 years and he said, hey, you have these 3 young guards that you're going to watch this year, without the doomer thing of, oh, they're all going to get hurt. Yeah. Then it's going to be fine. I'm fine with whatever the outcome is this year, as long as there's, I'm just like pretty much fine. I don't have any expectation whatsoever. I'm happy to watch these guys. I've actually allowed myself to get excited about Joel looking good and happy, because not excited that he's going to do something. Mike keeps doing this thing where just 2 years ago, he looked like okay, but that was 2 years ago. And eventually the way you look 2 years ago isn't the way that you look anymore, which is most likely. But what if he's pretty good? I think there's this anxiety that is so built up from all of this time that the difference, I think the biggest difference between you and me, and I backed you in that argument with Mike. And the only thing I don't do is every time he brings it up, I don't relitigate it, because I don't think he perceives the point that you were making as the point that you were actually making. You were never saying it was a good chance or even a reasonable chance. You were just saying it was a chance, which is better a chance than we're ever going to have. I understand what you're saying. I think the difference between you and me here is last year broke me in such a way that I am free of the baggage
No.
of previous to that. And
No,
that's why
I just still feel broken.
yeah.
I mean, if you could, there's a chance that I end up feeling the way that you do if we get to like week 2 of the season and all of a sudden, like maybe not all our guys are back, but like 6 of the top 7 guys are back, and Embiid is playing in like 70% of the games and looking like 70% of himself, and we do get a 44-38 season. If you can guarantee me that, I'll be totally fine. I just don't know if I can watch another like 28-54 type season, especially if Joel's going to be there the entire time. Like, you might be able to kind of break from emotion and say, okay, whatever happens, happens. He's not going to feel that way. And if he's going to be there either pressing to get on the court when he shouldn't be, or just sulking on the bench or whatever, if things are going emphatically bad for Joel Embiid, it is going to be difficult for this to be fun time, good vibes, young guy team.
Yes.
That's just not really something that can coexist, I don't think.
But also, if it turns out that Tyrese Maxey is secretly a murderer, things will go bad too. You can invent all
right,
of
but
these
one of these things is a lot more
situations.
likely to happen than the other one, I would say.
I don't know. Joel disappeared last year. He disappeared. He did. He disappeared last year. You can come up with the worst case scenario for everything. You'll never be able to drive to work or take the train or
all right, but this is a worst case scenario that we saw happen very, very recently and is not improbable to happen
and
again.
I know, but also I've been in car accidents. I'm just saying you need to let go of expectations and open up your heart.
No, and look, in theory, I agree with you, and I've been this guy in past seasons before. I think this is almost exactly what I wrote at the preview of last season, was don't worry about who's in the lineup. It's hard for me to be that guy again this season for a bunch of reasons. I guess we've already gone over, so we don't need to go over them again. But I just, it's hard for me to know what I'm even rooting for with this team. Do I want them to, do I want Joel to play 60 games and be mostly the version of himself, and they make like a push for the second round maybe? Is that what...
That's one option.
I mean, that would be great, but is that even what I should be watching for? Or should I just be watching for, Jared McCain and Quentin Grimes, both average 20 for the same month, and isn't that exciting? And
pick the most. You know what you should do? You should pick the thing most likely to be possible, and that's what you should look for. And everything above that is a bonus, right? Hope that watch for VJ Edgecombe dunking on people and Jared McCain having some game where he looks like fucking Steph Curry, and Tyrese Maxey deciding that it's his team, even though he's not quite good enough for him to be his team. But making sure, I was really encouraged by the fact that he had the young guys out and was taking them places and says that he has to set the culture. That's meaningful.
I guess it's.
You gotta.
What?
No, you have to for your own sanity.
I just think that, like, it's easy to say this at the beginning of the season, and then we remember what watching a losing team actually feels like. Even when you have like the exciting young guys, like VJ Edgecombe was plenty exciting in those 0-3 preseason games. I didn't enjoy watching those. Like, it's just. Watching losing basketball is never as much fun as it sounds like to a Sixers fan. We glorify losing basketball on this podcast.
Yeah, but
it was fun.
You make a couple bucks doing it. Think about all the people that do it for free.
And we've had a lot of laughs, and there's good times to be had in the in-between times. But it's not as glamorous as we make it sound sometimes.
Nobody thinks it's glamorous. I'm going to read you. I'm sure you read it because you actually look at the rundown. But I'll read you an email. Maybe it'll make you feel better after we talk about Briggs Auction, who I love. Man, my trips to Briggs Auction actually very cool. I got a tour of the warehouse where they're keeping everything. There's just so much stuff. It's like an overload. Briggs Auction is an auction house in Delco, family owned, family operated, been there forever, but it's all online, right? The place is in Delco. It doesn't really matter to you. It's just kind of neat that it's in Delco, but everything's online. You download the app, the Briggs Auction app in Google Play or the App Store. And I always say they separate. There's sales every week. There's auctions every week. Hundreds of lots. Many of them starting as low as $1. I always separate by category. So I go in. I look at art. I look at collectibles. I look at clothing. I look at jewelry, because now I'm looking for my first good watch or whatever. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I also really love online auctions. I get competitive. CJ loves it too. Here's his Briggs Auction item of the week.
Continuing the trend of obscure hobbies that people may have that they just got rid of a bunch of stuff. And then it leaves me wondering, what is this thing?
Yes.
I'm looking at this
Is that a
wild.
microscope?
It's a wild Heerbrug theodolite. Do you know what a theodolite is?
No, did you Google it?
I
No.
didn't know what it was either before.
No.
It looks like a
up.
microscope a little bit.
It's a land surveyor device to track points, residential, commercial, in the forest, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Looks super industrial. There's like 15 of them in this lot of
Really?
all varying model numbers. The bid right now is 200 beans, so like very much so it's worth something. But yeah, the build quality looks great. I'm just very interested in, like, is a hobbyist gonna pick this up, or is this like mainly a career tool
Surveyor
to have? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as somebody who I had to just get a survey for my house when we bought this house because we want to put up a fence. Here's the total scam. Just a step aside from Briggs Auction for a second. You buy a house, you would think that the township or whatever has this little grid that shows you where your property lines are, right? No, you have to pay a surveyor $800 to somehow do it, come out to the house, and then give you a drawing of where the lines are. And the only way that the actual, how they find this out, I have no idea. Feels like a big scam. But the only way that the township has it is if you do the survey and maybe there's some sort of dispute and you have to present it to the township. Like your neighbor says, oh, you built your fence on my lawn or whatever. But it was like $700 for a survey.
Have you been in contact with your clerk's office?
Yeah. Well, I called and I said, do you have a survey of my property? And they said, no, we're sorry, we do not.
Wow.
So you have to get the survey yourself.
It's messed up.
Yeah, messed up. So, but anyway, I sort of feel like buying a house is a little like weddings in that there's a bunch of industries that charge you more for something because they know that you need it. You know, like if you call a photographer. Anyway, Briggs Auction, I love. Download the app, Google Play or the App Store. You win a lot. You pick it up open, pick up on Saturdays, or by appointment during the week, or work with you on a shipper. If you have a huge collection of things that you want to make CJ curious about, that you want to auction at Briggs Auction, send an email to info@briggsauction.com. That is Briggs Auction, the official auction of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. We got this email from. So would I say Jaime? If they're from Spain, Jaime?
Yeah,
Jaime. Hi, Spike and Mike. Just wanted to write a quick note to say thank you. I have been a Sixers fan from Spain for more than 15 years, and I'm finally going to my first Sixers game on November 11th versus the Celtics, something I've dreamed about for a long time. I've been listening to the pod since the early process years, and I honestly think part of the reason I've stayed so connected to the team through all of the ups and many downs is because of you guys. The pod has always made me feel part of something bigger, even from far away. So I just want to say thanks for keeping my Sixers spirit alive all these years. I can't wait to finally be there in person. Keep up the amazing work. CAU, this person, they're actually happy to go to a Sixers game. Jaime is.
Well, look, it's a good podcast. I'm not disputing the podcast. It does make being a Sixers fan in these times a lot more fun than it would be otherwise. Look, it could vary. By game one, I could be back in. I just need to actually see it this time.
Okay.
It's that's the thing. Like, I don't want to be doom and gloom about the Sixers season in general. I have my own reservations there, and I am certainly leaning doomy and gloomy. But for me, it's more just like I can't feel it yet this preseason because this preseason has been so discouraging. The Joel stuff is, if it's real and you're saying it's real, that is the first like legitimately encouraging thing we've seen this preseason, aside from the VJ Edgecombe missed dunk. Like that
Well,
was.
I think the Maxi attitude talking thing has been big for me. Yeah, I don't think that's nothing, especially with how whiny he was last year. No offense, Tyrese, if you're listening. A quick note on VJ Edgecombe before we move to the next thing. I tried to get this past Mike, and I don't think he was like buying it. He likes prospects. He likes young players so much. I think when I am negative or realistic, he gets defensive. VJ Edgecombe will be fun at times. He is, in my view, pretty far away from being championship level contributor at like 20 minutes a game or something.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he can't play, but I always dumb things down to the most basic things. And for perimeter players, I always say, can they shoot? Can they pass? Can they dribble? That's it. It's very simple. And the answer for VJ Edgecombe is shoot, not really.
No.
Pass, a little bit. Dribble, can. But the shooting thing, I think he's probably going to shoot like 38% from the field. That would be my guess. I think he will probably shoot low 30s from three. You can just see. And when you say the shot isn't broken, most people who aren't good shooters don't look like Ben or Michael Kidd Gilchrist or something.
Got to grade on a curve a little bit with the Sixers. Michael Carter Williams, Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, yeah.
Yeah, like most of it, they just look like they're shooting a basketball and it doesn't go in as much as you would like. When he misses shots, he misses them pretty bad. He dribbles better than I thought he would, but he still doesn't dribble like he's the worst guard dribbler on the team, pretty obviously at this point. And he throws nicer passes than I think. And all this, I'm super optimistic about him. But I think in like the opposite of you, in people's excitement to be excited, they look at Edgecombe and all of the press around it saying that, he could be the steal of the draft, all these sorts of things, and seem to think that right away he will be good. And I think he'll have moments defensively and he'll have good dunks and he'll probably have a good run here and there. But I think if people are expecting too much, they're going to get too frustrated with him and start thinking that he's not as good as we thought. And I just kind of want to level set, at least for me, my level set is I expect him to look very much like a young rookie,
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be really, really good, and I think he's going to be a really frustrating watch a lot of this year. There's going to be 4 of 19 shooting nights and times where he goes up in the lane with the ball and he just has no plan whatsoever. Mm-hmm. There's going to be nights where he shoots 0 from 8 from deep. Like all that stuff's going to happen, and it's fine. Like you think back on the 2 probably best guard prospects that the Sixers have had during the last 15 years. It's been Drew Holiday and Tyrese Maxey. They both stunk shooting as rookies. They were not 20 points a game guys immediately, and they were not high percentage guys immediately. I think VJ Edgecombe can get there. I wouldn't say I've seen anything to make me think that he won't. And I really like him. And I think we took the right guy, at least so far. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean he's going to be I don't think he's going to be Cooper Flagg this year. I don't think he's going to be like an immediate. I don't think I wouldn't bet on him for rookie of the year. I don't think he's going to be that guy. Yeah. He's not that guy yet. He probably will be that guy eventually. I hope so. But it's fine that he's not. That's still reasonable.
I'm super optimistic about him as a player, all the hard work thing. But remember, hard work is about the off seasons. Is not during the season is helpful, but the odds of him getting better and those sorts of things during the season, I would temper my expectations for this season. Don't temper your expectations for him as a player, but maybe temper your expectations for him this season.
The highlights are going to be sick, though. That is true.
The highlights will be amazing. I mean, he jumped so high. It's wild, And I am still, speaking of irrational confidence, I am still so confident in Jared McCain that I'm shocked when people can't see it. Those things that I was talking about with Edgecombe, McCain does all of them actually exceedingly well. He's a really good passer. He's a really good shooter. He's a really good ball handler. I'm way in on.
I would still be I would be tempered about him this season just because he's still sort of a rookie and he's coming off a bad injury and now a couple injuries and it's going to take him a minute to reacclimate and he still is he's never played 82 games yet. He's going to hit a wall at some point probably. So I don't know if he's going to be guy who helps this team be good, but I do think he's going to be productive probably in a way that Edgecombe isn't.
So Joel Embiid is back. Probably. The black jerseys are back. And the Sixers made another announcement via video on social media about another very, very important icon in Sixers history returning. Hit it, CJ.
What is that like for you donning that uniform that maybe you have some pretty fond memories of?
It's just pretty cool for me personally. The city is going to really be excited for it. We should bring back hip hop.
Let's dance.
Now, if you're just listening, we were watching the hip hop highlight video that the Sixers posted on social media. It is so... The jerseys are so dated. the He's Back logo. The jerseys are so dated, or they're so they're so of the time. I don't know that there is a mascot in a history of sports that is more of the exact time that mascot existed than hip hop. Being there during the
Very
Iverson
accurate, yeah.
time. Yeah. Did you feel have you felt anything on the old jerseys and the hip hop return?
The jerseys, no, like for whatever reason, like I'm a sucker for 90s nostalgia, but Austin nostalgia I think is like lame and terrible. It's totally irrational, but it's just the way I feel. And those jerseys are hideous, which is fine. Like all jerseys are hideous until they're not. And like, basically what makes a cool jersey is a jersey that used to stink and has now just been long enough that people have nostalgia for it. I'm fine with that. I think they're overselling it. And like the fact that they were selling it as hard as they were made me think that they had no confidence in the team being good. Hip hop, like I loved hip hop just because he was so ridiculous and so stupid. I love a good dumb mascot. Like I'm in on that. There would have been a time where I would have been very excited about a hip hop return. Now, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is actually how I felt when I saw this news. Like I'm worried it's going to get in Franklin's head a little bit. Like I'm worried it's a vote of no confidence in Franklin, and it kind of reminds me of Jerry, like of the Colangelo incident like 10 years ago, where like some of the language being used is like, oh well, no, don't worry, we're not bringing him in as a full-time replacement. We're just like bringing him in so he can be like a consultant and like advise Franklin on various things and be there in case he needs them. And I don't like that. I actually have kind of bonded to Franklin, which I never would have expected to be the case. But
you and Abby, the only two Franklin.
Yeah, maybe that helped with it. I don't know. But like him doing the over the head shots and Sixers Adam giving him shit for it. And there was that time, I think it was last season, though maybe it was 2 seasons ago, where like he was doing like the voodoo hex on I think Darius Garland when he was inbounding in that Cavs game. You remember that? Like it was a late game possession. No. Where the Cavs were inbounding to take the lead, and he was doing like the voodoo thing on him,
the fanatic thing,
yeah. And they turned the ball over, and the Sixers won the game. And I will always believe it was because of Franklin. I started liking him, and now I feel bad that he's got this cooler older brother brought in to like look over his shoulder. I don't like that.
Well, the guy who plays hip hop, who will be in the suit, Alex Coffey wrote an article about it. Is 55. I don't think he's ready for full time.
Is that true? 55?
He is 55.
Wow! Yeah. Shout out. That's incredible. Yeah, maybe it'll be fun. I love hip hop. I'm glad that he's getting like a moment in the social media sun at the very least. Like that's fun.
He is.
But just like let's pay some respect to Franklin. I feel like he's putting the time here, and he deserves better than being Colangelo. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Franklin is the least popular mascot in the city.
Yeah.
By a long shot.
A long shot. Yeah. It's not surprising, but maybe that's why I like him, is because I don't know, he does have that kind of underdog energy to him.
Well, and the other mascots are specifically popular, right?
Yeah.
The Fanatic specifically popular, Gritty, Swoop. I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is Swoop like? Do people outside of the city even know who Swoop is?
Well, they don't need to know outside of the city.
Yeah, I guess it's just tough going from Fanatic and Gritty, like those are two of the 5 most iconic mascots in all pro sports.
Well, Swoop doesn't have a personality. That's the difference. Is Swoop and Franklin's personality is like, well, guess like
God, I love him. Yeah. I don't know why, but I really do love Franklin now. It's a very strange. I don't know where that comes from, but
pretty weird.
I got you, Franklin.
Pretty weird. Okay, well, again, you and Abby. Yeah. We got this email from Charlie. CJ, do you have the video for this with the audio? Okay. To writesrickysanchez@gmail.com from Charlie. Hey there, pleasure to make your digital acquaintance. Big fan. I came across a video the other day of a packed London pub belting a song in unison set to the tune of Push It by Salt and Pepper. Here's how it goes. Here is the video. So these are Arsenal fans, Arsenal is a Premier League team, I assume, right? Am I right? I assume.
I hope you're not asking me about this.
Okay, yeah, I assume they're a Premier League team. Charlie says, it fucking rocks. I honestly don't know how they get everyone to know the lyrics, but I am certain this needs to be implemented in basketball, and I think we're the fan base to make it happen. With your reach and the season not yet started, I think it's the perfect time to get it going. I have no musical talent, so I'm not sure if I'm the person to light the match here. Nevertheless, I've attached a voice memo of a quick one I mocked up a moment ago. And I thought I've been holding this, and what better time to do it than with AU, the famous writer and singer of the Batum, the Batum song about Big Batum. One of your best moments. So here is, and I always love when our listeners sing into voice notes. So here we go.
Joel Embiid, you are center. I think the league forgot you are the best. 40 a night, we still remember. He's our MVP, the process.
So what song is that to? I think
that's Timber, I think, by Pitbull and Kesha.
Yes, yeah. So what do you think?
I appreciate the effort, certainly. Look, I like you, I appreciate all of our voice note song parodies. I think that's a good genre of music in general. Yes. I would say I generally preferred the the Dancing Bear song to the tune of Dancing Queen that we got last year for Gershon.
Yes. Oh,
that
boy,
was
like so good.
Yeah, that was like a
5 minutes long.
Yeah, that one just kept going. That kind of won me over through sheer persistence. This one, I don't know, maybe you could use a second verse or something, but it's still good. I'll give it a 7.
Well, and the Trevelyan Queen Mutlu moment was also very good. Do I still have that?
A star hunt.
No, I guess I. No.
They should be embarrassed. Gross. I'm embarrassed.
No, I don't have it. I thought I might have
so many
it
hits. So many hits.
Yeah.
We got to do a charity compilation one of these days.
Yes.
Get them all. Do one of those like commercials where the song title scroll down the screen. It's every 1 out of 3 is in yellow. Like we gotta make that happen at some point.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we have to clear all the samples first. Where the hell?
Forgot about this one. Jesus.
Oh, that's CJ. Are you playing that? That's okay. Man, it's freaking me out.
So many classics.
Wait, what was I going to say about that before we go? Oh, just this. There's this. I think here's the bigger point I would make. Every time people see what soccer fans do for the first time, they think, oh, we should do that. It never works.
Yeah.
It's only soccer fans. I don't know what it is. And I've gone to union matches with Sons of Ben and sat in that section. It's just so much work. People don't do it. They only do it at soccer matches, and it's usually only the supporter section. And literally every time the NBA tries to do a supporter section, it is the lamest possible fucking thing. It just won't work. No matter how much you try, it won't work. People, we're not the same. Maybe it's Americans. I don't know, but it's not the same. It won't work.
Also, like, I might have to take issue with the guy's assertion that song fucking rocked. Would we say that song fucking rocked? I don't know if I think that.
Well, I think it's just people doing things at the same time. I think everybody singing it in a would be fun, but it's never going to happen. And certainly not this Joel Embiid song is never going to happen.
Well, if it did though, that would be a crowning achievement.
It would.
Yeah.
The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by BodyBio. Oh, man, I love BodyBio. BodyBio is a supplement company based in Jersey. The fact that it's family owned and operated, I'm actually going to stop saying that because I actually don't. I like it. It's nice. Doesn't matter that much. What matters is that they have a good product that is good quality that could help you with your health. I think the thing that matters the most to me about BodyBio and the fact that they're sort of smaller rather than one of these big giant supplement companies is they can do quality control better than those companies because they're smaller, right? They can also change their product based on new science and stuff because they're smaller. They can pivot. These big, huge places that have racks and racks of them at the drugstore with dust on them, they can't do that. Every single batch of every single product of BodyBio goes through their standards they're testing, and if it doesn't match, it doesn't go out. We've talked about so many of BodyBio's products. By the way, you go to bodybio.com, use code August, you get 20% off anything, literally anything. We read on the last time we talked about BodyBio, we read this note from a physical therapist that started having some of their clients using E-Light. E-Light keeps you hydrated properly. Hydration is not just about water. Hydration is about electrolytes. And too many times we have been tricked into thinking that the only way you get electrolytes is by drinking these sugary drinks with artificial colors and artificial flavors. No, no, no. E-Light is just electrolytes. That's all it is. And you put a little bit of it in your water. I used to have this huge problem with cramps in my feet, in the backs of my legs. It would happen while I was sleeping. I started putting E-Light in my drink, not there anymore. Mike has talked often about butyrate. Mike has gut issues. Butyrate is a good solution. If you're going to take one gut supplement, butyrate is a good one, sodium butyrate. And we've talked a lot about remineralize. Minerals, super important to your body. Minerals, years and years and years and years ago, before over farming and before filters and all that stuff, you get all your minerals from your food. But the minerals aren't in your food anymore, and you're probably filtering your water, which means the minerals are taken out. It's good you get the bad stuff out, but the good stuff is taken out too. Remineralize, it takes minerals from salt beds in Utah, dried salt beds in Utah. Again, just put a little in your drink, get you what you need for minerals for the day. Again, promo code August at bodybio.com. That is bodybio.com, 20% off with promo code August. Before we get to the a new Sixers poem from Mia, how did you take the Phillies loss? You're a big Phillies guy. You wrote that Casty. I ended up being a Casty defender. I liked that you wrote the Casty thing and got into a very nasty text conversation with Sixers Adam when he had that big hit in Game 2. Yeah. But go ahead.
I mean, it's
baseball's weird.
Baseball is very weird. And like, I feel better about the team than I did last year when they just got pantsed by the Mets. Like, there was no doubt that the Mets were the better team in that series. Yeah. This year, like, I feel like they basically played the Dodgers even. The Dodgers obviously got the big plays where the Phillies emphatically did not. And the Kerkering thing is just tough on every level. I still would say run it back. Like, I'm already basically good with how that season ended. Like, I got over that probably quicker than I expected even. Like, they just got beat by a slightly better team, and I think they might prove to be the second best team in the NL when all said and done anyway. Like, it's a forgivable loss, even though it's a frustrating one, especially, one run in 11 innings. That's a tough way to go out. And the Kerkering thing is going to live in infamy, but I wasn't embarrassed on their behalf. I think they generally acquitted themselves okay.
Yeah, they didn't give up like they did in the Mets one. The Mets one was embarrassing. This one was
absolutely.
not. Yeah,
and the pitching is unbelievable. Like, I don't know we've ever had a series rotation like this before.
I don't know, and we didn't even there was no Zach Wheeler.
Zach Wheeler, like, our main guy wasn't even there. It's insane.
I don't know if you saw the quote from the president of baseball operations from the Dodgers that basically said that he has never, the plan that they executed versus Ohtani, he said was the best plan and execution he's ever seen against a hitter ever.
Absolutely unbelievable.
He said it's one thing to go in with a plan, but it's another thing to actually do it. Even seeing Luzardo in Game 4 in relief was pretty cool. And you mentioned 1 run in 11 innings. True. Also, if Ryan Kerkering doesn't throw the ball into the stands, the Dodgers also had 1 run in 11 innings. The only run they scored, they walked in. The only difference of opinion I have there is, well, I feel the same way about the team. There is a little bit of, if you re-sign Schwarber and JT, there's a little bit of 2012 Phillies to it. Yeah. In that they were that good last year, but is there any chance they're going to be as good the next?
I didn't think they were going to be this good this year. I thought that last year was our last chance. So I don't even know, but I certainly am not overly optimistic about the team's future from here. But with baseball, I'm a little bit more willing to take it one season at a time, I guess. I mean, like you say, it's a weird sport. Downward trajectories aren't always linear. Like, I think they could still be good next year, and if it's an entertaining team and it's like a 90-win team and they're in the playoff hunt, 162 games in baseball means a lot more to me than 82 in basketball at this point. So
yeah, it's weird to say, but it's true. Yeah. It's like, it's less. I want them to win a title, but it's also like you can't. It's almost impossible in baseball to like just go at it one year and be way better than everyone else and have it work out. Right. It just doesn't work that way.
And like in basketball, when things don't go right in the playoffs and then they go particularly wrong in the playoffs, that just like taints the entire regular season. It makes you not want to think about anything ever. in baseball, I feel like they're almost two different things, like the regular season and the playoffs. When the playoffs go badly, it might make you frustrated about those playoffs went, but it doesn't like ruin the memory of watching the team during the regular season. It doesn't make you feel like an idiot for caring about the team in the first place. I'm able to divorce those parts a little bit more easily than I am with the Sixers.
Yeah, it's I forget who I was talking to about it, but it was sort of like when a baseball season ends, it's almost like a long-term relationship ending, in that you invested all this time and at the end you're like, oh, it's just over. That's all that happens. Yeah. It's just like Orion Kirkering throws the ball away and there's just no more baseball. That's what happens.
It does feel like they should be on again tonight. Like,
yes.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find, I always make, oh, there it is. Okay. No, that just had one last thing I had to do. I had to make sure before we get out of here. From our official poet, Mia Kang. You should buy her book. Just Google her or Google her. She's on Twitter too. Hi, Spike. I read Nick Nurse's book. It's called Rapture a couple months ago. Mia, by the way, I've learned over the last several months, is a fucking psychopath. She's very... I like her.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like her very much. And she, she did the poem at the lottery party, and she's written several poems, and I enjoy her because just think about that first sentence there. She didn't even like the Sixers like 5 years ago. And here's the first sentence is, and wait till you hear how like crazy this gets. I read Nick Nurse's book a couple of months ago. Did you know that he used to manufacture and sell a ball called the Nurse's Pill? Now his foundation sells a fancy version. It's basically a ball with a stripe down the middle, which he developed when he taught basketball camps in Iowa, inspired by the fact that he used to teach proper grip by using a piece of painter's tape. I wrote this poem a couple weeks ago. Wait a minute. After spending some time learning about basketball manufacturing, and wasn't so sure it would be appealing for the pod, but looking at it now, maybe it's appropriate for the transition from a sad end to what is probably a sad beginning. Now, I don't know if you caught that last thing. I wrote this poem a couple weeks ago after spending some time learning about basketball manufacturing. Right? Like who?
As one does, sure, yeah.
Yeah. So the poem is called The Nurse's Pill. I'll try to do this. It's hard to do. It's not my work. I'll try to do it, give it its proper due here. Choose another object. Try your hand at a sphere's exterior, inflated skin they call a carcass. Shapes of the splayed animal stay visible everywhere. Thrown around in the tanning drum, pressed under the embosser, hanging in rows. If you hear your voice inside of mine, it's because I was beautifully trained. Nothing of mine stuck to you, yet it's all gone. A single piece of painter's tape guides the grip. The game changes for better or worse, making the league richer or poorer. Name something I won't measure. Released from a height, the ball must meet its minimum. Such are my weapons. Could I ever love other than instruction? You show I know what an arc does. Shoot. There you go. I screwed up a little at the end. I don't really understand poetry. I assume she's good at it.
Well, I have to say that I do feel like the ultimate testament to the legacy of this podcast is the fact that what you and Mike have built is able to draw in like these brilliant creatives like Mia and like Abby who don't give a fuck about the Sixers or maybe even sports, but still find some sort of kinship with what y'all do here. That is like the best review you could ask for, I think.
Yes. Yeah. I that is a good one. It was actually very funny. I wonder if I can find his voicemail. Hold on. It's actually, I wasn't going to play it, but it seems appropriate given what you just said. Oh yeah, here we go. You will understand why this is appropriate after I play it.
Hey guys, Nick from Ambler here. Listening to Sean Carroll, who's a theoretical physicist podcast, his Mindscape. Now, you should listen to his newest episode, his Ask Me Anything episode, where in the beginning he just goes on a Philly sports tirade of sorts, and he's a sicko. Sean Carroll's a sicko. All he cares about is the Sixers. Probably the smartest guy I've ever heard speak in my life is an absolute sicko. Just want you guys to know this, and you should get him on the pod. I'm pretty sure he would come on. Thanks. Bye.
I just want to let that gentleman know Sean Carroll has been on the pod.
Yeah, he's the Ship of Theseus guy, right?
He is.
Yeah.
We had Sean on the pod maybe 2018, 2017, something like that. We had a good run of, I think it was the first time we ever really did a lot of pods in the off season. I think we had Klosterman that summer too. So Sean has been on the pod. He is a Ricky guy, and we love Sean.
Yeah, and another testament to the podcast that my initial reaction upon hearing this phone call is like you call yourself a fan of this podcast. Like, how can you not know that
Sean
this
Carroll
physicist was on an off-season podcast 7 years ago? Like, come on, casual.
Yeah. Yep. We had a gentleman at the radio station sit in for an hour and watch the show, and he's 19, and he says he's been listening since 2019. Which
goodness.
He's been listening since
that's too much of his
old.
life. Yeah,
Yes,
that's not okay.
Yeah, not at all. And he actually had one. He was like, "Can I ask you one question about the pod?" I said, "Yes." He said, "The David Thorpe interview years ago. He seemed like he was a real jerk. Did you and Mike talk about it afterwards?" And I said,
"Did you?"
We never talk about anything after the pod. I mean,
that's a good point, and I know that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, occasionally there's wow, that was funny, but not really. We'll leave on this. An email from Alan, writes Sanchez@gmail.com. Hey, Spike, Mike, and CJ, NAU. I'm a fan of the 49ers, Warriors, and Giants in the Bay Area. I love the pod, and the Sixers have become my East team. One aspect I appreciate about the pod is how similar the dynamic between Philly and San Francisco sports are if you've been alive for 32 years. Where the Giants and Warriors both have multiple championships, and whatever negativity may come with the Dodgers being unbeatable, the Warriors aging out. None of that will ever bother me like my lifetime with the Niners, whose last Super Bowl win came when I was a year old. I could never do the demon exorcist thing with the Niners like you did with the Sixers, so huge respect for that. What advice would you have for the Niners, Giants, Warriors fan, if any? The Sixers are like the Niners, but the Niners have been more painful, in my opinion. Now, like, clearly, I am old enough to remember when the Niners won championships, but if he's only 32, he's not. Now, the Niners have been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years, haven't they? What's that?
Not 5 years, but definitely the last decade.
10.
The 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, well, they were the Kaepernick Super Bowl and there was a Jimmy G Super Bowl as well. Yeah. So
the other 2 teams have won a combined 7 titles in the last 15 years. What is this guy talking about?
My advice
there's no
to
comparison
you,
at all.
my advice to you is fucking don't ever email us again. What are you talking about?
I'm sure the Niners have had some painful losses. I don't want to diminish that, but come on, there's not a real kinship here. I'm sorry.
I'd like to give you the capital, and this is a Mike, a Mike invention, but is true. The Sixers have never beaten a good team in the playoffs in this era. Never. Not one good team. Yeah. Not one. Now they've beaten they've won a game against a good team, but they've never beaten a good team. So before you leave, this is late, and I should have done it in the beginning, but I'm doing it now. Before we say goodbye. There we go.
Yeah. Jason's going to be very excited at the very least.
Yes, he loves it.
Hey, you, get off my goal. 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 Get it.
I forgot to do this at the top, so.
That's all right. Better late than never.
All right. Well, I appreciate you filling in, AU.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. And shout out, by the way, because we just mentioned Jason. He and his wife Vanessa just had their second kid. Congratulations to them. And he's still in the chat. Can't keep him away.
No.
2 kids, not enough. He's gonna have at least 3 before he misses a podcast. So shout out to Jason.
Yeah, I forget when he started watching live on YouTube, but at one point he started watching live on YouTube and he became like an unhinged chat guy. Yeah. And one of my favorite things is Lipschitz unhinged chat guy stuff. So I hope we'll be back with you Saturday morning. Mike will return. And hopefully, maybe Joel Embiid will have played the night before, and we'll have our season preview pod. So
there's some chance that is going to have been true.
Yes, and there's some chance that it's not. So we will. We'll talk. Thank you, AU. We'll talk to you next time. Are you down with TTP?
Yeah, you know, Lickface.